Si deve suonare tutto questo pezzo delicatissimamente e senza sordino. This is the famous heading above the equally famous Mondschein or Moonlight Sonata. This whole piece must sound most delicately and without damper. And as if to make sure that you've really registered it, Beethoven repeats in the middle of the system, semper pianissimo e senza sordino, without damper. What Beethoven almost certainly means is to engage the damper stop, that is to play without dampers. It's interesting that Beethoven uses the singular damper, but he must mean damper, sordini, instead of sordino. So to play without dampers throughout the movement, and I engage this damper block by using my right knee. The sempre pianissimo from its side must refer to what we call the moderator, a piece of felt that we slide between the hammers and the strings to mollify the sound, to turn a leather-covered hammer into a velvety felt one. Etc. Now, when thinking about the piano and the pedal, to use the modern term, there's something important to bear in mind, and it is that the original technology for raising the dampers would have been a hand stop like this on a square piano by Ignaz Kober in 1788. Celestial stop is another term for the undamped register, which C.P.E. Bach, Karl Philipp Emanuel Bach, tells us in 1762, is most pleasing when fantasizing, when improvising, if, he says, one can deal with the lingering resonance. This is, for example, how the C major prelude of Johann Sebastian Bach sounds. The origin of the possibility of playing without dampers in a piano like this must have been to have two instruments in one, namely the piano with the dampers, and then the pantalon, which was an extremely popular instrument at the time, without dampers. And what you have to imagine here is a large dulcimer that you can play with mallets, except that the mallets here are replaced by a keyboard. Much easier to play. Beethoven's piano, an Anton Walter Forte piano, would have had the next version of the technology, a knee lever. Or, as Mozart called it, die Maschine, wo man mit dem Knie drückt, the machine by which one presses with the knee. No longer hand, but knee. And this means that, theoretically at least, you're now able to change the pedal, to use the modern term again, with every new harmony. So, for instance, you could play the opening of the Mondschein like this. But Beethoven specifically asks for the old way, which in 1801, when he composed the Mondschein, would not have been all that old, actually. And he asks for that undamped register throughout. Anton Schindler, who was Beethoven's secretary for a while, wrote a revised version of his Beethoven biography in the 1850s. And he says that Beethoven's marking of the Moonlight Sonata doesn't hold anymore. You can't do it on the pianos of his days in the 1850s because of the enhanced volume of toonvulle in the instruments of today, he says. Now, if that is true for pianos of the 1850s, then certainly this must be true for the modern-day Steinway. We have one here, so let me try. I'm going to try to do the exact same thing as what I did on the Walter forte piano. Clearly, I can't just leave the pedal down. And now we're talking about a real pedal with the foot. Real, quote-unquote. I have to pedal with every new harmony. And as I do so, typically what one hears is that we downplay the left hand and we upplay the right hand. We turn something that was originally a dreamlike accompaniment into a crystal clear motive. Those triads. And of course we play much slower. Etc. I mean, it's interesting, it's beautiful. But gone is Beethoven's nostalgia for the old technology of the hand stop, where change was not only impossible but also undesirable. Ah, those lingering celestial sounds, those shadows on a moonlit lake.